Good morning, student. Welcome to English Prose.
Unit 4 Exploring Poetry. Exploring means traveling through in an unfamiliar area in order to learn something or inquire into or a discussion in detail. The poetry means literature work in which the expression of feelings or ideas is given intensity by using a distinctive style and rhythm. In this chapter, there are two poems. The first one is Life by Miss Esther Samuel, and second is On the Grasshopper and the Cricket by John Keats. Let's start the first poem, Life. What is life? Life is a tree that grow well with love and care. In the poem, the poetess Miss Esther Samuel has made comparisons of life with different things. In the first stanza, the life is compared with the tree, which grows well if it is get love and care. In another word, the life is compared with a tree because, like a tree, the life goes on growing. The growth never stops, but it can be better if it is done with love and care. Life is a kite ready to fly in the air. In the second stanza, the poetess has compared life with a kite, which is ready to go up in the air. In another word, as a kite continuously strives to go up in the air, our life is also supposed to make progress towards a high goal. Life is a music if you know the notes to play. In the third stanza, the life is compared with the music. Music always brings joy if the notes are played well. In other words, the music can be interesting only if the notes are played rightly. If the notes are not right, the music would seem to be dead. Life is a road with the twists and turns on its way. Twists and turns means the path, the life full of struggles. In the fourth stanza, the life is compared with the road that never runs straight. It bends and takes turns. It means that the life never goes straight. What is life? Life is what you make it your way. And finally, the poetess has left the verdict on an individual that the life is what you make it. It means that everybody has a right to live his life in his own way. Therefore, after making a few comparisons, the poetess has made his statement that is, life is what you make it. The second poem of this chapter, On the Grasshopper and the Cricket, by John Keats. The poetry goes like this. The poetry of the earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun, the hide in a cooling tree a voice will run. From hedge to hedge above the new mown mead, this is a grasshopper, he takes the lead. In summer luxury he has never done, with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. Word meaning: faint, become unconscious, hedge, bushes, Newmont, freshly cut, take the lead, keep in the forefront, tired out, got exhausted, at ease, comfortable, weed, a wild plant. In the first stanza, the poet says that the poetry of the earth is never dead. Even if it is scorching heat and the birds are fainting and hiding themselves in a cooling tree, the voice of the grasshopper runs among the bushes. The poet says that he is at the forefront and enjoy the summer luxury. He has not finished his delights means fun. If at all it gets exhausted with fun, he does take rest under the some
pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never, on a lone winter evening when the frost has wrought a silence from the stone there shrills. The cricket's song is warmth increase ever, and seems to one in a drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Word meaning: ceasing, stopping, lone, lonely, frost white, wrath brought about, wrath silence calm down everything, shrills produce a loud or high sound, drowsiness state between the sleeping and being awake. In the second paragraph, in the same way, the poetry of the earth never stops. On a lonely winter evening, when there is extreme cold and nobody moves out, from under some stone there rises a shrill of the cricket song. Setting of the poem. The mood of the poem is joyous. The poem seeks to celebrate the call of the grasshopper and the cricket. In short, the voice of the nature herself. The setting is almost luxurious, as in it celebrates all the phases of nature. Theme of the poem: Nature. Nature is a major theme in this sonnet. Nature seen as a radiant figure throughout this poem. It is not difficult to trace the influence of natural world has on Keith as one read this poem. The first line begins with the declaration that the poetry of the earth is never dead. This declaration is followed by the Keats try to explain why not. In the course of the 14th line, the Keats allude to the bird, the sun, trees, hedges, meadows, frost, and the grassy hills. All of the aforementioned are the popular motifs of the nature poem. He doesn't end here. He alludes to some of these motifs along with their inherent quality or their purposes. For example, he alludes to the heat of the sun, the cool shade provided by the trees, or the pleasantness of the certain areas of grass or a weed. Last but not the least, the Keith uses the grasshopper and the cricket as the symbol of the summer and the winter, respectively. Seasons. Summer and winters are seen as a two parallel peers who sustain the natural world. The Keith persists them side by side as two parameters against which all the cycles of the natural world has to be tested. After this putting nature through the test, the Keith conquers that the grasshopper and the cricket are the one that can overcome all the strife, including the extreme temperature. Hope. Both the grasshopper and the cricket are symbols of hope. They continue in their daily ritual even when the other creatures cannot. They provide everyone with the hope that no matter how hard the situation is, there is always a way to overcome them. The grasshopper takes the rest in some pleasant weed to freshen itself so that it can provide the poetry of the earth for the entire natural world to listen. The cricket finds its voice in the midst of frost when the whole of the creature finds itself silenced. Thus, the hope is what constitutes the poetry of the earth. Here, the chapter is over. Thank you.